After experiencing Monday's tornadoes, it's understandable kids and adults, we might be struggling with some of those emotions we don't quite understand. This morning, counselors Niesel Connor and Asha M. Creary with Hearts2Heal have some ways to help adults and kids, all of us, really cope. Good morning to you both. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
All right, Asha, we'll start with you. So we've seen some of these images from some of these natural disasters, the destruction it really leaves behind. What is the real impact on our emotions this can have?
So oftentimes when there are natural disasters, we don't really take into account mental health. And there are so many things that impact our mental health following those incidents, including stress, anxiety, grief, trauma, and sometimes it can lead to post-traumatic stress disorder following these types of events.
Yeah, and Niesel, talk a little bit about why it's so important to address some of these emotions. Asha just said, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, these are pretty serious things.
Right, exactly. So when we are encountering these natural disasters, we go into survival mode. And so when that survival mode, that fight or flight leaves us, we're left with a lot of complex emotions. And so it's really important that we find ways to process those emotions and regulate those emotions so that we're able to function in our daily lives.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit more about, these compounding effects, Niesel. Sure, we had these tornadoes on Monday, but we're coming off of a pandemic, a racial reckoning for a lot of people of color. We're also still dealing with the remnants of last year's winter storm. How can people really understand what might be happening?
We have been fed image after image of so many disasters that are going on in our country, our world, our nation. And because of that, our brains are trying to figure out, what do we do with all of this information that we're getting? How do we survive with all of these things that are happening to us? And so it's really important to find the resources and the help to kind of let yourself kind of process and sit with the emotions that are coming up for you in order to function in your daily life.
Yeah, Asha, Niesel just talked about processing some of these emotions. I understand you're going to be sharing some techniques with us. What can we do if we're watching right now and we need help now?
Okay, so some great things that you guys can try is things like expressive arts, including painting, drawing, coloring. Those are things that can kind of help you describe emotions that you may be experiencing. And it can support with children and adults having conversations around the trauma that they've experienced and allowing them to create an image instead of putting it into words, because sometimes that's easier. Right. And then you can also try some grounding techniques that would include breathing, sensory processing, such as warming yourself up, cooling yourself down, doing body scans. And then there are some other things like counting that can support with managing anxiety and the images of trauma.
Yeah, Niesel, we have about 30 seconds. Does this apply for adults as well? And what copes would you advise, or coping skills would you advise?
Absolutely. So stress takes a huge toll on our physical body. So you want to make sure that you're providing your body with care, whether that looks like exercise or rest. You want to make sure that you're taking care of your body. Also engaging in calming and relaxation activities to help regulate your emotions also helps, and also really lean into your support network. Lean into those people that can provide emotional support for you.
Yeah, such important topics, such an important conversation. We appreciate you both, Niesel Connor, Asha Creary, both with Hearts2Heal. Thank you so much for helping us this morning. Let's all take a breath.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us this morning.